Hey everyone, welcome back to Anu Talk Show. We have another coaching hotline. Let me share the question for today's episode. Today we want to talk about urgency. I got this question on Instagram. It's especially around the free training I'm offering. So if you want to have the free training as well, the three-step you need as a woman of color coach in order to scale your coaching business, definitely DM me on Instagram, scale, and I will send it to you for free. And the question or the topic I want to talk to you about is like urgency, because this prospect literally told me that they are also interested in client acquisition. Especially the part was interesting around urgency from the client's perspective, and how messaging ties it in. Have you ever felt like that your audience, they want the result, right? Let's say you are a fitness coach and you are helping them to lose 20 pounds till summer. You know they want the result, but it feels like they are not motivated enough to actually take the action. Let me know in the comment section if that sounds like you. You are a coach, you're a fitness coach, you're a business coach, you are a relationship coach, and you know with your offer you help them to get the transformation. And you are seeing that your prospects, your leads, your audience, they are watching, they are engaging with your content, they are consuming your content, they are DMing you and they are telling you how inspiring you are and what a great job you are doing as an industry expert, but they are actually not moving. And especially as we head into summer now, I see a lot of coaches making one huge mistake. The mistake is that they assume, all these women of color coaches and industry experts, they are assuming that their people don't buy when summer is around, because summer vacation is around the corner, their kids are taking vacations, and in reality what is happening is that people don't buy when they don't feel urgency, which is why this conversation is the perfect fit for today's episode, because urgency has very little to do with discounts, flash sales, fake scarcity. If you are a woman of color coach, industry expert, I know you don't want to do unethical stuff. So, in this episode, I want to talk to you about the mindset shift you need to have as a woman of color coach and the three messaging shifts that will create urgency without ever feeling like pushy or unethical to your audience. So the biggest mindset shift is that people, they don't buy because they want information. Okay, write this down in the comment section. People don't buy because they want information. They are buying because they want change. They want to solve a problem in order to change. Let me say that again. They buy because they want change. They want to experience the transformation. But the problem here is that many women of color coaches, industry experts, they are creating urgency that only educates people. But it's not actually helping them to make a decision. They are teaching, they are inspiring, they are motivating, but they're never connecting the dots between where someone is now and what happens if nothing changes. And as a result, people stay comfortable. They stay comfortable. And if someone is comfortable, they are not changing. They show interest, but it is inactive. So, your job as the coach, as the service provider, as the industry expert is not just to tell people what is possible, it is also to help them understand why waiting has a cost. Not making a decision has a cost. Waiting around and trying to figure out on your own has a cost. And it is your job as the coach to showcase what the costs are and why actually the cost is higher of waiting instead of actually investing in themselves and in their transformation. So let's talk about the three mindset shifts you need to have in your messaging. and in your content in order to solve that urgency problem that you have, which is why people are not buying around the summertime right now. So if you're a coach, you have been around the block for a while, you have been selling for a while, and you feel like around summer the sales is dipping, the revenue is not hitting, make these shifts, because summer can be one of the highest revenue quarter for you. It can, only if you know how to hit the urgency part. So, the number one shift you need to make in your messaging is talking about the cost of staying the same. Okay. So many women of color coaches, they spend 90% of their time or 90% of their content talking about the dream outcome. Is that you? Because only a very few talk about the cost of inaction. So ask questions like, what happens if you are in the exact same place 3 months from now? What happens if another summer passes and nothing changes? What opportunities are being delayed? What income is being lost? What relationships are being lost? What stress continues? What is the frustration that remains? People often don't move because they haven't fully calculated the cost of staying stuck. They don't know the full picture. And as a coach, as the marketer of your company, as the salesperson in your company, all three job is your job right now. Especially if you don't have a team member who's doing the sales part for you, who's doing the content part for you. Actually, you should always be in charge when it comes to your messaging and when it comes to your content. I believe you should not delegate that part right now, especially if you feel like you're losing a lot of money or leaving a lot of money around summertime and you don't know how to handle that objection. It's still your obligation and your job to handle that in your content as you. Because your messaging, and I see this is a big mistake that a lot of women of color coaches are doing, is they want to delegate so many stuff as soon as possible without actually get good at it first. But it's your company, especially as an industry expert. You are impacting other people's life. You are building $1 million brand, a global brand. It is your job. It's always your job to communicate your voice, which is your messaging. And if you're not doing that, how can you expect that someone else can come into your company and can amplify and can communicate the voice you have? They can't. They can't. So it is always your job to communicate what your voice is and not to delegate that. I know this was not part of this conversation, but I felt like I needed to say that because a lot of people, they think, oh, if I delegate that, if I don't focus on marketing, I only focus on coaching, I can get more clients, I can sign more clients. No, I don't think so. Now you have someone else in your company who's trying to communicate your voice without you knowing what your voice is, without you being good at it. So let's move on to messaging shift 2. Let's talk about what you need to do as the next step, which is talk about why summer is the perfect time for them right now to take action and to see the change. As I told you before, people are buying because they want change. They desire the change. They see the uncomfortable feeling when they stay stuck. Okay, so many coaches unconsciously reinforce the belief that summer is a slow season. Let me know in the comment section if that is you. If you have this feeling like, oh yeah, summer is a slow season. The last 2, 3, 4 years, it was always the slow season. Yes, it was the slow season because you didn't know how to handle the summer objection. But it will change this year. So if you believe summer is slow, your content will reflect that. Your energy around sales will reflect that. You will book calls, but your energy around closing the sales will reflect that because you believe summer is slow. So instead, help your audience to see what could they accomplish by September if they started now. What is the momentum they could create over the next 90 days? What could happen if they use the summer to build foundations while everyone disappears? So the coaches, the women of color coaches and industry experts who are winning in Q4, they don't start in Q4. They are starting now. They often make decisions in summer, not autumn. So urgency creates or increases when people realize the future is being created right now. And this is also like urgency is the number one thing, how you are creating demand. We are billions of people on this earth. Okay. When you have the demand right now, don't you believe that there are 100 people right now who are ready to work with you right now? Okay, 100 people is too much. Let's say you are a one on one coach and you are not ready yet to scale. Don't you believe there are 10 people right now who need to feel the urgency to say yes to their own transformation, to say yes to your offer? Don't you believe that? Because urgency creates or increases when people want to change. And demand is created when you are increasing the urgency. Let me know in the comment section if that makes sense. Because for me, it makes totally sense. A lot of people are running towards or chasing towards, let me increase demand without knowing what demand, what you need to do in order to increase the demand. Create urgency. Make all those messaging shifts to create urgency. That is how you will continue to have demand for your offer. That is how you will continue to always have people on the wait list, to always have people being interested in your DMs. Urgency, my friends. Urgency is the word. So let's talk about the next messaging shift, which is number 3, which is talking about the gap. One of the fastest way to create urgency is helping people see the gap between where they are and where they want to be. For example, if someone, you are a business coach, okay? If someone wants a fully booked coaching business, one-on-one coaching business, how far away are they from today? What is currently standing in their way to get a fully booked one-on-one coaching business? If someone wants freedom, income, confidence, or clients, what is keeping them stuck? So the bigger and clearer the gap becomes, the more urgency naturally appears, not because you are forcing it, because you are helping someone to see the reality. And when you know how to communicate the urgency, you are able to increase your prices because the demand is increasing, because you are booked out. This is how one of my clients inside Leverage 20, she's a career coach, job hunting coach. She actually started Leverage 20 by charging $300 for her one-on-one coaching. And now she's closing one-on-one clients for $2,000. $2,000. She started at $300, charging $300 for one-on-one coaching. Why was that possible? Not only did she increase the demand, but she also knew how to create urgency. She also knew how to calculate the price of the urgency in order to charge more for what she's offering. So from $300, now she's charging $2,000, and in 60 days or less, she is able to run her first high ticket group offer. How amazing. Everything less than 6 months. This is what I want to say. If you know the urgency and how to communicate that urgency and or make all those shifts within your messaging, you're able to increase your price. And inside Leverage 20, I have this tool which is called the gap value calculator, because as I told you, someone will pay for a change, for a transformation when they understand what the gap is. Because your clients needs to understand, okay, I'm paying $5,000, but the return on investment is $50,000. So they don't even think about, okay, $5,000 is a high cost. They are thinking about, oh my God, I'm getting a return on investment of $50,000. Why wouldn't I do it right now? So if you don't know how to calculate the value, if you don't know what the gap is, you are not able to charge high ticket prices, because high ticket coaching is not only about, oh yeah, go from 300 and then add a zero at the end and then sell it for $3,000. That's why currently you are hearing crickets, because you don't know how to communicate your high ticket offer. So when you are a woman of color coach and you are ready, or you are sick of staying stuck at not selling your high ticket prices, your high ticket coaching offer, DM me ready on Instagram. Let's solve that. You will solve that with one tool, which is the gap value calculator. And you are able to book a call within the next 24 hours and sign the next client in 7 days, less than 7 days. So if your audience is interested, okay, you are seeing that they are DMing you, they tell you you are inspiring, you close clients before, but you are hearing crickets around summertime and your audience is not taking action, the answer is not necessarily more content. The answer is not discounting your offer or doing some fake bonuses, okay? It's actually having a stronger messaging by infusing urgency. Messaging that helps people to understand the cost of where they are, the opportunity that is available for them right now. And the gap between the current reality and the desired future will determine how much you are able to charge for your high ticket offer. That is what creates urgency. And when you know how to communicate that urgency, you will increase the demand. You don't need to pressure, you don't need to manipulate, you don't have to do unethical sales process. You just need more clarity around urgency and how you can handle the objection around summertime. So, you are a woman of color coach and you are ready to stop being in the sales drought, and you want more clients this summer. You want a messaging that creates action instead of only hearing you are great and they're saving your post and you are going viral, but it is not reflecting back in your bank account. DM me ready, because you are ready. You are ready because you are hearing and listening to this podcast. So don't ignore the data your business is telling you right now. Don't ignore it, because it's simply data. The question is, are you ready to close the gap for your business? Because let's say you are charging $2,000 and you can close 10 clients around summertime, you are leaving $20,000 on the table, because you are not closing the gap in your messaging and not knowing how to create urgency and calculating your offer value. You can stop it right now and DM me ready whenever you are ready, and I will be there for you to help you to calculate what the value of your offer is, so that you can go out there and create urgency and create demand. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you a wonderful day, and I talk to you in the next episode. Bye.